Hello there. My name's Eric Hawkinson for TogetherLearning.com. I want to introduce this concept to you, very important concept to you. Honor among learners. This concept is very important because there are more of us than ever going online to learn and to study than ever before. And we're going to have to kind of have an understanding of some of the challenges and some values and ideas and concepts as a community, as a learning community, and as students and as an educational society, to be able to put our best foot forward, to be able to get the most out of our learning experiences. And this is encapsulated with this idea of honor among learners. So in this video, I'm going to explain this concept, what it means, and you may be asked to take a pledge to uphold these concepts, to be a student that has honor among learners. And I'm going to go through some of the core values and concepts that support this idea so we can have a better online learning community and get the most out of our online learning experiences. So here we go. This saying I kind of borrowed from another saying. This is called honor among thieves. You can find this saying in movies and TV and cinema and even in some Shakespearean work. And basically it means that even thieves, who are dishonorable people because they steal from others, have honor among them, among their own kind, in their thief community, because they understand that if they don't steal from each other, they're better able to steal from others. Does that make sense? So we're going to take that idea, that concept from honor among thieves, and just have honor among learners. Because the concepts that I'm going to introduce to you now, these values that I'm going to introduce to you now, if we all uphold them together as a group, as a learning community, we're all going to be better off for it, and we're all individually going to be better learners and grow more because of it. Okay, so our honor among learners is going to need a code, a set of rules. And this is called the honor code. And it's basically an agreement. We're all going to agree. We're all going to trust each other. We're all going to have mutual trust and intellectual honesty for online learning. And this agreement, this mutual trust, is based on a set of values that we're all going to try our best to uphold. A lot of these values are a little bit fuzzy. They're a little bit, could be interpreted differently. They could be in a gray area, but we're going to try our best. We're going to put our earnest effort into upholding and abiding by these values and holding these values dear to our heart, because we know as a community, as a group, as a learning society online, that we're going to benefit if we all do this together. Okay, so we have our six core values to have honor among learners. And I'm going to go through each of these individually right now. And like I said before, they can be interpreted a little bit differently. I'm just going to give a very brief explanation of them. And whenever you feel like you can't understand or you don't know if your specific situation applies to this, we're going to have to look to our community, your classmates, your co-workers, your teachers, to try and help you through and understand your situation as it applies to these. Because we're all going to help each other in this understanding, in this honor among thieves, to make it work right. Okay, so the first one is academic honesty. It's probably the easiest to understand. That means that basically your output, whether it be an essay, a test, artwork, a presentation, anything that you produce as a learner comes from your own experience, knowledge, and creativity, etc., etc. It comes from you. You're not trying to take some work from another source or somewhere else on the internet, or collaborate with a lot of people and say it comes from you. This is also true of group work. It comes from your group. You're collaborating and representing your collective group work, creativity, knowledge, experience, etc., etc. So you're not going to copy and paste something and stick it in your report and not say that it doesn't come from somewhere. You're not going to ask a classmate to rewrite portions of your essay and not tell anyone about it and say that it's completely done to you. That doesn't mean we can't help each other. I'm going to talk about this a lot. We're going to encourage each other and help each other in our online learning, but you're not going to misrepresent your work as being from other people, right? So this also goes the other way. You're not going to give your work to another classmate or someone else so they can use it as their own, right? So you're going to be honest about your output. In the very basic terms, if it's supposed to come from you, we want it to come from you, because that's when you're going to grow as a learner the most. And that's how your teachers are going to help you the most, because if you're not honest about the stuff that you produce, you won't know where your weak spots are, and your teacher won't be able to help you grow and understand some of the weak points that you have in whatever subject or learning endeavor you're trying to do. So let's be honest about our own work and try to put our best foot forward and not take too much from other people and other sources on the internet. Respect is a big one, right? There's more of us getting online to learn than ever before. Over 1 billion new people online learning instead of in a classroom or in a training room at work or in a lecture hall at a university. This means there are more opinions, more points of view, more cultures, religions, etc., online than ever before. And if we can have some mutual respect, this can be a great learning opportunity. So if we can just agree that everyone has their own way of thinking, has some opinions to share, has some insights to give us, and respect that concept, we are more able to look at it in a way that we can learn from and not dismiss right away. Right? So let's have some mutual respect, because more than ever, we have a chance to learn from each other. Trust. A lot of these are big, heavy words, aren't they? So this agreement is built on trust, and we have to be able to trust each other. So we're starting out understanding, that's why we're watching this video, is because we want the understanding that we're all at least have the a knowledge that everyone has watched or understood these values, and we're all going to try and uphold them together. We're all going to trust each other to try and keep these values to heart as best as possible, because we know if we all try our best to uphold these values, we're all going to grow more and become better for it. Responsibility. Well, this is definitely a current unique new challenges and responsibilities for us, because some of us are not in a classroom, we're at home, we're not with a teacher, we're in front of a computer. That means you have more freedom to study when you want, where you want, how you want. And because of you have that freedom, you also have more responsibility to figure some of these things out on your own. That means figuring out how best you're going to complete your assignments, whether that be blocking out a section of the day to do your work, or finding a space that's nice and quiet, or procuring the right equipment so you can do things online the right way. Whatever that might be, that responsibility is going to be a little bit more on you than perhaps in the past when you have classroom and teachers and coursework and coworkers to help you. We can still help each other, but online we just have more freedom to do things how and when we want. That just means we have more responsibility to figure things out and to do our coursework in a way that's best for us. That's also true for coursework. If you're in a group, you have a responsibility to participate and contribute to your group as much as possible. And it's going to be on to you, not your group, to do that, to be responsible to participate in a way that matters. Okay, so let's be responsible about how we complete our work. Oh, this one's hard. Fairness and equity. Well, studying online definitely has its challenges about being fair and equitable. There's something called the digital divide, right? Not all of us have the same access to technology and the internet. Not all of us have the same experience and ability to use technology. Not all of us have the same expertise when it comes to navigating the internet, etc., etc. So being fair in online courses, especially in the current environment, can be very difficult because we all have different levels of understanding, we all have different equipment, and we all have different ways that we're gathering and connecting to the information using technology. Because we're more, I'm saying technology a lot as well, but this also can be physical and mental disabilities, same as in which we deal with fairness inside of a classroom. But these are more issues connected to this new state that we're dealing with online learning. So what does this mean? It's difficult. I struggle with this as well. So one thing that we can do for this is just to recognize when someone's at a disadvantage. You might have a classmate that's in a rural area and has difficult internet. We might have someone that has a situation at home and they're having to share their computer with several other people, etc., etc. Everyone has a different and unique situation, and if we try to recognize their situations, we can be more fair to them. As a learner, you might have a leg up, meaning you might have an advantage over your classmates because you have the best equipment, the best software. Maybe you have prior experience and knowledge about the coursework. So it's going to be your responsibility, if you feel you do have an advantage and have all the right things, to let all of us know that you have that. That's going to at least let your classmates know that their coursework, their output, their ability to participate in class isn't because of something else. They can feel a little bit better about their maybe not having the experience and therefore not comparing themselves to you so harshly, right? Does that make sense? That'll help us be a little bit more fair and equal online. That's a difficult one though. Okay, this is the last value, and it is integrity. And this is like the glue. This is the glue that will keep us diligent in our upholdings of these values. And that is integrity. Integrity just means that you are going to be committed. You're going to try your best to sustain the upholdings of these values. You're try your best to keep these values in your heart as best and long as possible. So we're all going to try and be trying to have integrity when it comes to upholding the honor code and thinking about our honor policy indefinitely, right? We're going to try to be thinking long term and always be diligent about these values moving forward, and understanding that our classmates will do so as well. Okay, so those were some of the core values that we want to try and uphold as classmates, as learners online. Here are just some quick things that I want to share. So they're just ways that you know that you've crossed the line You don't have honor among learners. You are not upholding the values represented in our learning community, right? So, and that's plagiarism. That's when you take work from somebody else or somewhere else and you say it belongs to you. You don't quote your source. Multiple submissions. That just means that you've done some work for another class or a previous class and you're resubmitting it and being dishonest that it's not new and original work. Sometimes that can be acceptable. You just have to be honest about where it comes from. False citation, that just means you've cited that it's come from somewhere. You just haven't done your diligence and really maybe made a mistake about where that comes from. This is actually easy to make a mistake on. It's on the internet these days. It's easy to make a mistake, to find some information and it's misquoted or misrepresented. Somebody else made a mistake, it passes along and it kind of gets multiplied and goes viral, etc., etc. If you want to know a little bit more about these ways false information can spread, especially online with our social media algorithms, you might look on togetherlearning.com in a digital literacy course. But I digress. That's something completely different. Okay. Next one down here is false data. That's when you look online and you find some data that doesn't conform to the conclusion you want. And you might twist the data or misrepresent that data and to make it support your opinion, your cause, your belief. Okay, this last one I want to talk a little bit on because it's fuzzy, and I personally struggle with this with online teaching and learning myself as a teacher. And this is unauthorized aid, because as a teacher, this means that you don't help your students without permission. But you have my permission. If you're in my class, I want you to aid your classmates. I want you to help each other as much as possible. It's very simple. Why? It's because you as a learner are benefiting by helping your classmate. If there's a concept or some problem that one of your classmates is stuck on or has trouble with and you help them through it, you have now done more for yourself in learning that concept than reading a book or watching a video or whatever, because you have practiced teaching that concept. And that is one of the best ways to learn. And you've seen it through the lens of somebody that doesn't understand it quite well, and you've helped them understand it. So then your understanding of it is through the roof. So I want to encourage you, I authorize you to help each other whenever and wherever possible. Where this becomes a problem is the overhelping, the oversharing, the over-facilitation of your classmates. And I struggle with this as a teacher because I often want to help my students so much where I don't want to see them fail, and I might help them a little too much. This happens for me from time to time, so it's difficult even for me to find a balance in this. But I find, although it's good to help your fellow students, you want to keep in mind that you don't want to help them in a way that makes it too easy for them. Because as learners online, we have all these values like self-responsibility and trust, etc., etc. But we're going to learn the most when we struggle just a little bit, when we have to overcome a little bit of a challenge, when we have to force ourselves, dig a little bit deeper, and try harder or try again. We all know that we learn from mistakes. We all know we learn from failure. So sometimes we might have to let our classmates fail a little bit. So I want you to help them, but understand that doing everything for them is definitely not helpful to them, because you're robbing them. You're stealing the opportunity from your classmates to be able to struggle that little bit and fail and actually get better at what they need to get better at. Again, that's a hard one. That's difficult. I even struggle with it myself, but I wanted to talk about it because I encourage you to help, but sometimes it can be too much. Just understand that, okay? All right. Whew. What do you think, class, students, learners of the world? Honor among learners. Having this code of conduct, this honor code, this set of core values, do you think that's going to help you be a better student, a better learner? Do you think knowing that your classmates have also watched this video or read about these values and understand them, does that make you trust your fellow classmates a little bit more in your online learning environments? I hope so. That is the goal that I'm trying to do by making this video. If we all at least have an understanding that learning online is a little bit different and requires a little more diligence and responsibility and all those values that I just spoke of. But if we can, as a group, as an online community, uphold these a little bit better, we're all going to benefit from it, I promise. Okay, I think that's the end of honor among learners. I hope we can all abide by these values and have more honor among learners moving forward. All the best, stay healthy. Let's learn together online. This is Eric Hawkinson signing off for now for togetherlearning.com. Bye-bye.